Hey guys, what is going on? My name is BO4 and today we're going to be back on the channel doing another top 5. So basically what we're going to be doing is the top 5 alternate crews. So basically anything that's not the original 4 or the Origins cast. Without further ado, let's get into it. So coming in at number 5 we do have the Chaos crew from Black Ops 4. Now I think this is pretty self-explanatory in itself, but they only were on a few maps, which makes it kind of less fleshed out. And I know later on I kind of contradict myself with, well, the other ones that are going to be in the list, but overall they weren't as noticed or like known and shelled out as the other ones are. And also they weren't really wanted. People wanted a more direct path with the original and Origins characters rather than a more spin-off. And personally, to be honest, I'm putting them in 5th because I haven't played much of their maps. I've actually only played Voyage of Despair, I think, of these maps. So I can't really base an opinion, and so they have to go in at 5 really. Anyway, moving on to the next one. So coming in at number 4 we do have the Green Run crew. Now I think this is quite a fair rating for a number of reasons. We're going to start off with the bad, as we usually do, and just say that the characters were slightly annoying. I mean, Misty is a bit, she just yells things at random, and I mean a lot of them do like die freak bags and stuff like that, but it's sort of in another way that kind of like grains on you a little bit. On the other hand though, it was quite good on a series of generally poor maps. I'm not really talking about Buried because that one's alright, but Transit and Die Rise aren't particularly well liked within the community, as you'll probably know, and they actually had quite shelled out and good personalities that we came to know over time. Also, they had quite a good storyline as well, which kind of gives it an advantage over the BO4 Chaos crew, and that's what makes it better than the number 5. Anyway, on to the next one. Okay, so coming in at the number 3 spot, you might be surprised to see that we do have Shadows of Evil cast. Now, they do have a very vast range of characters, which I think makes it very good. Like, we have Jessica Rose on one end, a burlesque dancer, and on the other side we've got Floyd Campbell being the boxer. Now, generally speaking, those two don't mix, so I think that makes for a good, like, combination. Also, the characters talk to each other, like, quite a lot throughout the map, and obviously that's some great dialogue, and it helps build the connection between the player and the character, and also between the characters, so it sort of flows a lot better than a lot of the other maps do. They were also in one map, which doesn't sound like much, but they were shelled out a lot more than some of the other characters were, even more so than like Richtofen and stuff in earlier games and stuff. So they were shelled out more with playthroughs and trailers, so you learn a lot more about them than you would tend to, especially compared to the Chaos crew, for example. Anyway, into the next one. Now, coming in at number 2, we do have the Mob of the Dead crew. Now, the characters do fit the tone of the map really well. Obviously, it's an Alcatraz island using all these parts to get to the Golden Gate Bridge, and they're all gangsters. Obviously, it's called Mob of the Dead, so what else can you expect? And obviously, Ray Liotta, who's in Goodfellas, is one of the characters in the map, which obviously is going to make it really good because he's really well known and he's a great actor. Also, it ties into the other maps really well. I think there's a quote from Shadows of Evil where somebody says this is worse than Finn O'Leary's whiskey when they drink a perk, which obviously ties in. And on top of all that, they're actually loved by the community. The map Mob of the Dead is loved and the characters are loved. So that really makes a lot because everybody likes them. It's not like it's just a me thing or, I don't know, Mr. T Lexify, Fat Matt, somebody like that. It's just everyone really likes Mob of the Dead. So, anyway, before we get onto it, there we go, the last one. So coming in at number 1, we do have Call of the Dead. Now, this is for many reasons, and I can't just narrow it down to just these, but I have to for the sake of the video's time. Number 1, they're all very famous in their own right. For starters, we've got Sarah Michelle Gellar, who was a 90s horror icon and scream queen, so it fits very well into the tone of horror and zombies. She was in Buffy the Vampire Slayer, I Know What You Did Last Summer, and even like Scream 2. Also, there's Robert Englund, who's well known for being Freddy Krueger, so that's another, I won't say scream queen technically, but very, very famous for horror genre in itself, and he kind of looks like a zombie anyway. Then we've got Michael Rooker and Danny Trejo, not so much famous for horror, but they're very famous itself. You might know Michael Rooker as Yondu or Merle from The Walking Dead. Danny Trejo, I don't really know many of his films, but I just know that he's very famous. George A. Romero technically isn't one of the main characters, but he makes a really, really good boss. and technically he's the father of all zombies, as he was the director of the very first zombie films like Night of the Living Dead. I think he did Dawn of the Dead as well. Altogether though, this makes the perfect cast and crew, which is kind of fun, I guess. And it's better than basically any other character and crew in any of the other zombie games. So we got Nikolai, Richtofen, Takeo, Dempsey, all them. Anyway, I just think as part of an alternate crew, this makes absolutely perfect sense, and it just fits absolutely well with the style of the map and basically everything that goes with it. Anyway, into the outro. Okay, so in the outro, I'd like to say a huge thank you to my friend Nathan for providing me with the Call of Dead gameplay. I don't actually have the game on PC, so I would have struggled to get the gameplay. Massive thank you to him. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in another one. Goodbye.